When we talk about leadership, especially in positions that involve national security, public trust, and law enforcement, we expect that only the most qualified and ethical individuals are put in charge. We assume, or at least hope, that the person selected to oversee the police would be someone with a clean record, someone who commands respect, and someone who reflects the values of justice, transparency, and integrity. But in South Africa right now, that ideal is far from the reality. The decision to place Gwede Mantashe, yes, the very same Gwede Mantashe who was previously implicated in corruption, in charge of the police, even if just for a brief period, has sent shockwaves across the country. People are angry. People are confused. And people are starting to ask, did President Ramaphosa just appoint the wrong man? This story didn't come out of nowhere. To truly understand why this is such a major controversy, we have to look back at recent developments in the government. The police system in South Africa has long been under fire. Issues of brutality, inefficiency, internal corruption, and lack of accountability have created a deep distrust between the public and the men and women in blue. These aren't just isolated incidents. They are symptoms of a system that has struggled for years to reform itself, even as public pressure has mounted. So when Police Minister Sensom Chunu suddenly went on leave, under circumstances that are now clearly tied to an ongoing corruption investigation, it opened the door to one of the most critical decisions in Ramaphosa's presidency. Who would take over the role, even temporarily, during such a sensitive and volatile time? Instead of someone with a squeaky clean background or strong reformist credentials, the interim minister chosen was none other than Gwede Mantashe, a senior ANC official who is no stranger to controversy. In fact, he has been named in the State Capture Commission's final report as someone who should face criminal investigation over alleged corrupt dealings. The very idea that Mantashe is now overseeing the police, the same body that was supposed to investigate him, is raising very serious questions about accountability, about leadership, and about whether the government is truly committed to rooting out corruption. Let's be very clear about this. The State Capture Commission, chaired by Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, was one of the most significant and far-reaching inquiries in South African history. It detailed how billions of rand were siphoned off from public institutions, including Eskom, Transnet, and various government departments. It revealed the depth of political interference and exposed a web of corruption that touched some of the highest offices in the country. Gwede Mantashe's name came up in relation to the provision of free security upgrades to his properties, allegedly paid for by Bosesa, a company that had multiple questionable contracts with the government. While Mantashe has denied the allegations and challenged the Commission's findings, the very fact that he is under a cloud of suspicion makes his temporary role as police minister especially problematic. The timing of all this makes things even more troubling. A new commission of inquiry is being launched to investigate systemic problems within the South African Police Service. That commission is expected to dig deep, examine records, interview whistleblowers, and potentially expose more examples of cover-ups, misconduct, and corruption. This is not the time to have someone like Mantashe steering the ship. His presence alone could discourage open testimony, influence internal decisions, or at the very least, create the perception that any upcoming investigations are not truly independent. And perception matters. In a country where faith in law enforcement is already fragile, appointing a compromised leader, even for just 2 weeks, can do long-lasting damage. Critics have also pointed out that this is not the first time Mantashe has been accused of dodging accountability. When he was Minister of Mineral Resources, he missed a scheduled parliamentary session that was meant to probe corruption within his department. The timing of his absence raised eyebrows and was interpreted by many as a calculated move to avoid scrutiny. In another controversial moment, he defended Zandile Gamid, a former Durban mayor accused of serious corruption charges, during the 2023 election campaign. These incidents suggest a pattern, or at least raise serious doubts about his commitment to transparency and justice. Now let's look at what Mantashe is supposed to be doing during his 16 days as acting police minister. It may not seem like a long time, but anyone who remembers Des Van Rooyen knows that even a weekend in high office can have catastrophic effects. Mantashe has been handed the responsibility of leading a police force that is currently undergoing internal crisis, public distrust, and now a major investigation. He's expected to stabilize the department, inspire the ranks, ensure full cooperation with the incoming commission, and prepare the handover to Firoz Kokelia, who is set to become acting police minister in early August. That is not a passive role. It is a job that requires full focus, clean hands, and above all, moral authority. And many South Africans don't believe Mantashe has any of those things. Add to this the recent warnings from the State Security Ministry, where Kambudzo Nshivini has publicly stated that there were real fears of a possible coup or a destabilization attempt. She claimed that intelligence agencies had picked up concerning signs from military veterans who might be plotting a government overthrow. While she expressed confidence that no such attempt would succeed, the fact that these warnings are being taken seriously shows just how fragile the situation has become. In such a high-risk environment, having a caretaker police minister who is already facing allegations of wrongdoing is not just bad optics, it's a potential threat to national stability. Looking ahead, much will depend on what the new commission uncovers and whether real consequences will follow. Will the findings lead to prosecutions? Will they spark reforms? Or will it all be swept under the rug, like so many other scandals before? For South Africa to move forward, symbolic changes are not enough. The country needs visible, structural shifts in how power is distributed and how corruption is punished. The people need to see that no one is above the law, not even powerful ministers. Gwede Mantashe's brief appointment may seem small in the bigger picture, but it speaks volumes about the current state of governance in South Africa. It highlights the deep contradictions between public promises and private actions. It forces us to ask uncomfortable questions about who really holds power, and how it is being used. And most of all, it reminds us that even temporary decisions can have permanent consequences. Thank you for watching today's video. If you found this topic important, eye-opening, or thought-provoking, please take a moment to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss another deep dive into South Africa's most pressing stories. And we really want to hear what you think. Do you believe Ramaphosa made the wrong call? Should Mantashe have refused the appointment? Or is all of this just political noise? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and join the conversation. Your voice matters. Stay safe, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next one.